if you read all of those scriptures, it describes always the same, especially in the Islam Quran, like on every second page it's describing that the meaning of life, the goal of life is to purify the heart. And you see it also in ancient Egypt things, like in this in all of ancient Egypt monuments and pictures that they had, and everywhere they're describing this process of heart and the feather. And this is metaphorically speaking that if your heart is pure, then it's like 0% entropy, then it's light as a feather. So you have no chaos, you have no corruption in your heart, it's completely free. And if you go to any cathedral, to any church, for example in Paris or in any other place in the world, and if you go to any church, there are always pictures of Jesus somewhere in the middle often, sometimes of his um, other saints and as of his apostles. And always, if you look at these pictures of Jesus, it's always turning to the heart, and always like this, or the heart is very big, like shining, and it's always referring to the heart. And even if in his teachings, and often in these cathedrals and churches, they're standing above the heart is the way. So through the heart, you come to the afterlife, to the heaven, what they describe. So yeah, when you look in Islam Quran or in the teachings of Jesus, or if you go even back to Abraham and all those other prophets like Noah, it's always the same. It's even describing the Quran and in Hinduistic teachings, it's describing that it's always the same, or repeated over and over again. But it's always the same message that you come to this world to purify your heart. You can see this life like a prison or like a school. It's you come here or you go to prison because your heart is corrupted, and now you're in prison to purify your heart, to learn the lesson why your heart get corrupted. Now to purify your soul, and now with a pure heart, now you can leave because you learned the lesson, and your heart is now pure. Now you can leave the prison and go back to society, in a society where everyone has a pure heart. There's one quote called "He has gained the world but lost his soul on the way," and all the same is from Jesus, but you find the same quotes similar in also in Islam Quran. For example, that more many people they sell, metaphorically speaking, their soul, so they corrupt their hearts by gaining material wealth. But the problem is about that is that if you gain material wealth, it's only of short term, because this whole world is of short term. So everyone who is selling the souls for, as metaphorically speaking, selling the souls to gain material wealth is only of short term, because if you die, then you lose all of those things. So your material, like gold or your house or your car or everything about that, your looks, your status, everything. And then you stand there in front of heaven's door, metaphorically speaking, and you have no key, you have no soul, because you have corrupted your heart on the way after, to get all those material things. Now you're standing in front of heaven's gates, and you have nothing, no key to enter the heaven kingdom. And now what they describe in Hinduistic teachings, now you can't return home to the light, so they threw you again into the dark world. In Christian teachings and Christian religions, they describe as hell, and in other things, like in ancient Egypt, they describe it like a crocodile eats your heart or something like that. But it's already, metaphorically speaking, in the end, you are throwing back again to the world, to a new reincarnation. And this is also what you find in Buddhism teachings. That is always, but you find as also in like Hindu in teachings of Jesus, of the Quran, that everywhere is described that you are get reincarnated once again and again and again, until you learn the lesson. So basically, you come to this earth, you have a soul mission that you want to fulfill, but on the way, you forget who you are. So it's the story of awakening, the hero's journey. You realize who you are, why you're here, and then you have enlightenment, then you fulfill your soul mission, and then you die. Now you are in the astral realm, like in the ancient Egypt, they describe it metaphorically with the heart and the feather, and now they're looking how much entropy you have, and you see, okay, your heart is heavier than your heart than a feather, meaning that you have no zero entropy, but like I don't know, 50 or 20% entropy. So your heart is still corrupted to some degree. So it's not pure heart. And because it's not pure heart, you not get into heaven because you don't have the key. You are thrown again into the dark world for a new reincarnation of life and death, again to learn the lesson, and this again and again and again until you learn it. And at some point you fulfill your soul mission, return home, as a return to the astral realm. They measure it, and then you see, okay, now it's the heart is as light as a feather, and now because it's light as a feather, you have a pure heart. Now you can enter heaven kingdom because now you have the key, a pure soul, to enter it. And now you're going into the air light, and you know not reincarnate again. Campbell, I forgot the name. I think he said he was called Campbell with end name. He described in one of his studies, there's many people say that this world is a simulation, and if this world is a simulation, then it's a entropy reduction simulation. So entropy is an interesting point. Entropy is a physics term describing the I don't know how it's called in English, the Grad an Unordnung, also the grade of order, meaning if you have like a desk and this desk is completely out of order, this is 100% entropy. And then you start to order this desk to clean it up, and with each cleaning up, it gets like 50%, and then now 0%. And now this desk is completely ordered, it's completely structured, ordered desk, everything is clean, this is 0% entropy. So no disorder, everything, no chaos, everything is in order. And this outer world that we live in, this third dimensional world, is full of problems, of chaos, of so it's a definition of entropy, of chaos. And the meaning of life is this entropy reduction.